at 10, Mimikyu. Mimikyu is the Chihuahua of Pokemon. Really tiny but aggressive as hell when it wants to be. Mimikyu is known as the disguised Pokemon, and it's clear to see why. The Pokemon wears a rag designed to look like Pikachu because of Pikachu's popularity. Mimikyu is a lonely Pokemon who hopes that this disguise will help it make friends, but this comes with a catch. You can't actually look at its normal appearance. Perhaps it's ashamed or has some self-image issues, but this need to be hidden has caused people to think that seeing this Pokemon's true form will result in a painful death. It can also hold a grudge, tracking down a Pokemon who broke the disguise after repairing it all night, fearing that its true face could have been exposed. It's unforgiving and won't rest until it tracks you down once more. Looking at this thing will kill you, it hunts you down like some sort of serial killer, and it even sided with Team Rocket because it saw Pikachu and got jealous. This is one bad Mamma Jamma, and he's also pretty scary. In at 9, Trevenant. Trevenant is the Lorax of Pokemon. First of all, it can only evolve after a trade, which is scary to those of us with no friends. But it also evolves from Phantom, a Pokemon who is just a stump possessed by the spirit of a dead child. Man, this is a Pokemon list and we're already getting into FNAF territory. Leaving the fact that this is a literal dead child to the side, Trevenant will literally kill people. It will trap them in the forest for all of eternity if they try and mess with nature, like chopping down trees. And he doesn't need to do this himself. He has the ability to control other trees using his roots. He can possess any tree in the forest by using them, and this means that no matter where you are, if you chop a tree in a forest guarded by one of these or even multiple Trevenant, you're screwed, buddy. You'll end up getting trapped in the forest and join the Phantom army. Also, how are there wild Trevenants? Like, how does trading help Pokemon evolve? Is it the power of being abandoned that fuels the evolution? If you can only get it evolving by trading it, how are there Trevenants in the wild? I don't know. And at 8, Yamask. Yamask is holding a mask of their face while they were human. I don't think there's much else to say. That Pokemon was a human and then became a Pokemon in death. And then they retain all the memories of their former life. The Pokemon Black Dex even says that sometimes they look at the mask they carry, that was their former face, remember, and cry over it. That's depressing. Yamask is also one of the few Pokemon, actually it's not really a few, there are plenty of Pokemon that used to be human. Kadabra, for example, is described as being human once. Phantom, like I just talked about, is another Pokemon that used to be human. Man, there are plenty of Pokemon that used to actually have human souls or something similar. That really makes me think about why this game is marketed towards kids. We literally have a Pokemon who is being tortured by having former memories of being free and then is enslaved as a Yamask for all of eternity. That's not safe for kids. And at 7, Aegislash. Aegislash doesn't look that intimidating when you look at him straight on. He's just a sword with a shield and he can switch between the two, you know, depending on what move he's using. But this thing is literally a possessed sword. It's a sentient sword and this is his final form. This is the most powerful he can get. And he's a sentient sword. That's freaking nuts, okay? Have you stopped to consider the implications of this? There is a species of sentient swords in the Pokemon universe, and if they decide they don't like you, you're boned. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There is no coming back from that, especially when you realize that these two were once people. Honedge is said to be born from a person's soul after they were killed by the sword that they reside in, meaning this person was brutally murdered by a sword, they instantly possessed that sword, and then evolved twice into the death machine we call Aegislash. Not to mention that the sash that comes out of the sword will suck the life out of anyone who tries to grab the handle. Awesome. And at 6, Delmise. Let me just read out a quick quote from the wiki. Delmise prefers large prey such as Wailmer or Wailord. The heavy anchor can be swung with enough force to knock out its prey in a single blow. The victim is then enveloped in seaweed, which can be stretched for hundreds of yards, and its life force is drained. What the actual if you seek A? The scary actual design of the Pokemon is straight up horrifying, and the actual Pokemon is just the seaweed, so you're saying that this thing intentionally wraps itself around the anchor in an effort to make it look like sharp teeth? And then a really menacing smile. Plus, this thing has enough balls to hunt Wailmer and Wailord. Do you know how big a Wailord is? 47 feet and 7 inches long. And that's not to mention the fact that it weighs 877.4 pounds. Like, I know it's hard to tell, but I'm a skinny guy. If Delmise can knock out a 877 pound whale with just one hit of its anchor, I'm screwed. It will just straight up kill me. And the Pokemon is just the seaweed that it can then collect more of. That's the scariest damn thing I can think of in the water, okay? And this thing isn't even a water type. It's ghost and grass. What the hell? Why are you in the water? Leave me alone. Halfway through number 5, Runerigus. Runerigus is the Galarian version of Cofagrius, the evolution of Yamask. Runerigus evolves from the Galarian Yamask, and while the original Yamask is an absolutely brutal tail, Galarian Yamask gets absorbed by the tablet it's holding after it loses 50 health and you ride under the stone bridge in Dusty Bowl. Runerigus was formed from a painting imbued with an ancient curse, which was activated by absorbing the spirit of Yamask and brought the painting to life. Anyone that touches the actual shadow-like body of Runerigus will have the memories behind the painting's creation forced onto them, probably in a painful way if I know anything about the Pokemon series. This is just brutal, and this is nothing new for the Pokemon series, honestly. This is just rude as hell. First you're gonna destroy Yamask by making it remember its past life, and then you're gonna come at me saying it will also get absorbed and be forced to become Runerigus? That's just the most savage thing ever. Pokemon, why? And at 4, Golurk. Golurk is a beast. This guy is over 9 feet tall and weighs nearly as much as Wailord at 727 pounds. Golurk is a possessed automaton and is said to have served as a laborer to the ancient people who invented it. Somehow though, this absolute monster is able to fly by retracting its arms and legs and then rocketing off. But not only is he able to do that, you can also set him on edge. You can literally turn this Pokemon into a killbot by removing the seal on his chest. Doing so will cause his energy color to go from yellow to red, and he will start to fly around randomly, sometimes unable to land. But if he does land, he'll start attacking indiscriminately. He will attack anything and everything he wants to. It's also capable of firing energy beams, okay? And I don't care how many times Team Rocket is blasted off again, but you can't survive an unhinged Golurk Hyper Beam to the face. That's impossible. And at 3, Dawnwing's Necrozma. I wanted to avoid legendaries on this list because, well, they're all terrifying because they have an immense amount of power, but Necrozma is a ghost type legendary that we just can't avoid talking about. When combined with Lunala, we get Dawnwing's Necrozma, who is both psychic and ghost type, and while yes, it's not Necrozma's true form, it still makes me want to crap my pants. Have you seen Dawnwing's Necrozma? I haven't even played through Ultra Moon, but I want it, and yes, I do have Ultra Moon. I got it because I wanted to do some shiny hunting on my Twitch, but I wasn't in the mood to play through a Pokemon game, so I just had my starter and that was it. Either that or I was soft resetting for a shiny Rowlet. I can't remember, it was a while ago. Maybe I should go back and play that. I want to hunt all the stuff I can, especially that Mewtwo, because I want a shiny Mewtwo. Anyway, these Pokemon lists have really gotten me back into the Pokemon hype train. Might live stream some more things hunting on my own, I don't know. No matter what though, this dude is absolutely horrifying, but also beautiful. It's very confusing. And at 2, Gengar. You can't have a scary ghost Pokemon list and not include Gengar. While Gengar is scary, he just hasn't held up when it comes to looking at later additions in the Pokemon lineup. I have him at number 2 because of the nostalgia and because if I didn't include him you would all hate me, and if I had put him any lower on the list I would have been burnt at the stake. But you can't deny that this is the original Shadow Scare Pokemon. The whole legend of it being Clefable Shadow and that it's probably a dead Clefable is terrifying. This guy will eat your dreams and cause you physical harm by doing so, and the Mega Evolution is terrifying. But I think the scariest part about Gengar is his shiny. At least we got something better in the shiny for Mega Gengar. I think the only thing Gengar has going for him is that tongue. She asked me what that tongue do and I said, girl, I've been training Gengar for 10 years, I'll make you cry for a week. Finally, in at number 1, Majin. Okay, hold up. Don't hate on me just yet. Majin is a real character that was present in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, and could only be fought in the Pokestar studio. He is a dark and ghost type that looks kinda like a tornado, kinda like the final Titan from Spider-Man Far From Home. This Pokemon will only appear in the Ghost Eraser series movie. Defeating this Pokemon is quite scary since you can only do it with status moves. Thanks to its ability Wonder Guard and typing of Ghost and Dark, it is actually immune to every type of move, unless you have a specific move, ability, and or item that will allow a super effective move to hit, usually a fighting type move. All other moves get blocked, which is actually insane. Sure, it's not a real Pokemon and you can only encounter it in a movie, but it's still a scary ghost type Pokemon because it's literally immune to everything unless you can overcome it with something like Odor Sleuth, Scrappy, a Ring Target, Mold Breaker, Turo Blaze, Terravolt, or Soak. If you can't, you're screwed, okay? I know it's not a real Pokemon, but it's still a scary ghost type Pokemon. Get it?
Number 10, Volcarona. Giant bugs just creep me out in general, unless we're talking about spiders, which I'm actually pretty cool with. But this Pokemon isn't a spider-inspired bug/fire type. It's definitely like a larvae meets a moth. Yikes. To add to its spooky ickiness, Volcarona also evolves from the Pokemon Larvesta. Volcarona is a giant bug/fire type Pokemon who is also one of the first to be celebrated as a game changer when it comes to other bug Pokemon. It was known for being the one to watch out for as it can make make for a fierce opponent in battle. One of its abilities, Flame Body, sets the body of its opponent on fire upon contact. So if you don't want to go up in flames, maybe keep walking if you run into a Volcarona.
And at 9, Magnetar. Magnetar may not look extremely menacing, but this guy has actual flamethrowers for hands. It's like Elon Musk got his flamethrowers surgically attached to his arm and then just went nuts. And that's not even the worst part. These flames can get up to 2,000 degrees Celsius, which is 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit for the 3 countries in the world who still use the Imperial system. This guy lives in volcanoes and is totally fine with it. His body can turn white when he pulls a Danny DeVito and just starts blasting, and if he blasts too much, they can literally start melting their arms. This Pokemon will destroy itself as long as it doesn't have to deal with your bullshit anymore. And if that's not the absolutely most horrifying thing, then it would be higher on this list. Oh wait, it gets worse? Yeah baby, this is only number 9. Get ready for a wild ride.
Number 8, Houndoom. Houndoom is a dark fire type Pokemon that looks even more frightening as its Mega version. A Mega Houndoom appears dressed in skeletal armor with a forked tail. Basically, Houndoom looks like some kind of hell dog. Although I have to admit, if I had to own one of these scary fire type Pokemon, I would definitely pick Houndoom. As frightening as their horned ears are, I also think they look kind of cute. Then again, I do have a tendency to find spooky things cute, so yeah. Although if you did own a Houndoom as a pet, you'd want it to be very well trained. Its attacks will leave you with an injury that will never stop burning, no matter how long has passed. An entry from Pokemon Gold elaborates, if you are burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away. It's also recorded in Ash's Pokedex as possessing an eerie howl, which causes those who hear it to shudder in fear.
And at 7, Lampent. Lampent is just a floating lamp, right? Not too much that's scary about that, aside from the fact that Game Freak and Nintendo greenlit this Pokemon, and this is the start of their design decline. But nothing is really scary about a floating lamp with a purple flame, until you hear about the lore behind this Pokemon. Lampent can sense when someone is about to die. Yeah, you heard me. When someone is about to die and a Lampent is around, the Lampent will straight up go to steal that person's soul from their body. It also uses it to fuel its fire, so it needs a constant supply, thus leading it to hanging around hospitals, where it will just go around stealing souls. Yeah, imagine being a little kid with your parent in the hospital and then seeing a Lampent walk in. You would be absolutely destroyed. That's heartbreaking. But then you also remember it stole their soul. Therefore, your dear old parent didn't head into the afterlife. Yeah, that's how this works. Sometimes it even works with Litwick to bring people to the ghost world while stealing their life energy. This Pokemon straight up kills people if someone hasn't died in a while. What the flying Game Freak. I didn't include this in the ghost types list because I forgot that I'm including it now, cause holy hell.
Number 6, Heatran. Heatran is just a creepy Pokemon to come across as it crawls around and is known for being a legendary Pokemon who is quick to rage. 2 eyes peer out from its metal-looking skull, making it look as though Heatran is a Pokemon trapped in a metal mask. Its mouth also looks like it's part of the mask, and something that always freaks me out is just creatures who have no mouths, so the fact that it also appears this way on first glance to me is pretty terrifying. Heatran is powerful, angry looking, and can wall crawl, which only makes him a more terrifying Pokemon to run into. Although maybe not for Connor, because he'd just be wall crawling alongside him. Imagine seeing an angry Heatran emerge from the shadows, crawling on the ceiling above you. I don't want to, but you can.
Halfway through at number 5, Emboar. Emboar is the final evolution of Tepig, the fire starter from Unova, also known as Pokemon Black and White in their sequels. Holy sweet crap, is this a scary Pokemon. Emboar is like the fire pig version of the Hulk. Dude's got forearms for days, like Popeye had a kid with the Hulk after eating some Taco Bell fire sauce. This thing is mad freaky. It emits fire constantly from around its neck. It's like the weirdest scarf known to man, but at least it will keep you warm. Emboar has no fear. He will touch his hands to his neck in order to set them on fire for even worse punches, and he's a unit. The speed of this thing is nuts, and it can master fighting type moves and use its fire hands along with it. Not to mention it's also relentless while fighting. It can unleash powerful blasts of fire using only its nose. That nose is one hell of a nose, might I say. And then cloak its body with flames and then just crash into you. What the hell? That's insane. This Pokemon is basically Satan. Literally, this Pokemon could be the Satan of the Pokemon world, and I wouldn't even be surprised. When I go to hell, I'll send a message back letting you know if I board there.
Number 4, Moltres. Fiery phoenixes are usually thought of as being pretty creatures, but just because you appear beautiful and elegant doesn't mean you can't also be a horrific monster. If anything, the beauty of Moltres just adds to the scare factor as it can be used to lure enemies in. Moltres is a legendary Pokemon from the Kanto region and can rain down fireballs from above when provoked. It also is estimated to be on average around 6 feet tall, which if its dimensions were similar to like a standard fantasy dragon, means it could have an up to 75 feet wingspan. 75 feet is around as long as 2.5 London buses. So just imagine a firebird soaring above you with each of its wings being around the length of a bus. Truly terrifying.
And at 3, Incineroar. I know that Incineroar is in Smash Bros, but that only goes to further my point. Look at this absolute beast. Incineroar is basically what I imagine all cats to be, but with a belt of fire. Yeah, this Pokemon has a belt of freaking fire. This Pokemon doesn't give a flying flock. He just likes to fight. He will disregard the safety of everyone else, sometimes even hitting the opposing trainer with attacks. It's an extremely violent Pokemon and will sometimes ignore its trainer's orders if it just doesn't want to listen. This Pokemon begs for praise from crowds running on it, and will only do well if there's an audience to watch their absolute destruction of their opponent. It only fights worthy opponents and will just laugh at unworthy ones. This Pokemon literally had a move called Throat Chop as its signature, and with over 180 pounds behind that Throat Chop, any trainer who decides to attack for fun is screwed. Big time. This dude is as tall as me but has arms the size of my head and is willing to probably kill me? No thanks. No thanks at all.
Number 2, Charizard. But isn't Charizard one of the most beloved Pokemon, Amanda? Well, you're not wrong. Charizard definitely is. But they're also the star of many internet creepypastas and other scary stories involving Pokemon. And it is for this reason that I give Charizard one of our top spots. Charizard is basically a fire-breathing dragon who you would not want to get on the bad side of. Although in most fantasy stories, fire-breathing dragons are often the enemies of the heroes and definitely something to be feared. I'm sure most Dragon Age fans and Skyrim fans will agree with me on this point.
Finally, in at number 1, Centiskorch. You think normal centipedes are scary and gross? Well, how about one that can both breathe fire and is constantly emitting it from its face? Yeah, Centiskorch is not only a flat fire-breathing centipede, but he is also 9 feet long. This thing is a 9-foot-long giant fire-breathing centipede. If that's not the most terrifying thing to you, you really need to get your priorities in check. And its Gigantamax version, that monster is over 246 feet long. Yeah, 246 feet. And there's even more fire and even more legs. Legs on the menu, baby. Not to mention the flames they can emit can get to 1.5 thousand degrees Fahrenheit. And it's a very violent Pokemon, attacking anything that comes near it. This thing will wrap itself around you to sear you alive with the organs on its underside that emit flames as well, and just constrict you if it's feeling mean. This guy is an absolute unit. If you have a Centiskorch, you're a god amongst men, because you can do whatever the hell you want, and if anyone tells you different, they'll—
Number 10, Omanite. Omanite isn't the most scary of all the water type Pokemon, it's true, but it would still be a pretty scary one to encounter in real life, especially with its strangely large eyes. This Pokemon is also still a foot in height, so running into a bunch of Omanites down by a shoreline would still be pretty intimidating and intense. For some reason, Omanite has always reminded me of like a water-based shell-encased facehugger. This Pokemon is also a fossil type, which means it is old. So who knows, maybe at one point it was a facehugger in its life and could return to hugging faces at any point in the future? Who knows. Definitely a Pokemon that if you ran into it underwater, you wouldn't want or be able to take your eyes off of it. Number 9, Greninja. Greninja might just look like a cute ninja frog, but there are some facts to consider when it comes to imagining what this Pokemon would actually look like in a real world encounter. First of all, this isn't just a small, cute frog water type. This Pokemon is actually listed as having an average height of 4 feet and 11 inches, so it's kind of like more like a giant frog armed with razor sharp compressed water throwing stars, whose tongue looks like it's become tangled and forced to wrap around its head multiple times as the end of it dangles to the side. Not only that, but imagine a creature as tall as 4'11" with a waist as narrow as Greninja's. Sounds like some sort of creepy underwater cryptid. Number 8, Kingler. Anything with pincers is just usually a no for me, which means that Pokemon that resemble a king crab is also a no. I have never been pinched by a pincer underwater, but I wouldn't want to start experiencing that at any point in the future, and it is for this reason that I chose to include Kingler on our scary underwater Pokemon list. At this point, it's also possible for you to encounter a Gigantamax Kingler in the world of Pokemon. Gigantamax Pokemon are typically known for their increased size and durability, meaning they're bigger and tougher to take down. Instead of imagining your normal, still 4 feet Kingler, imagine a 60+ foot Kingler instead. Yikes, that sounds scary. Number 7, Lapras. But especially a Gigantamax Lapras. Horrifying just due to its sheer size. Lapras basically looks like some kind of underwater sea monster, like a giant crab or a turtle combined with what people believe the Loch Ness Monster might look like. A regular Lapras is around 8 feet tall, with the Gigantamax Lapras being around 78 feet tall. Now that's about as tall as a Brachiosaurus would have been. 78 feet tall is actually almost the equivalent of the length of 2 school buses bumper to bumper. That's big. Lapras looks like a dinosaur, so seeing something like this underwater would likely make you worry that you've somehow entered the same reality as Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Number 6, Blastoise. I actually don't evolve my Squirtle past the Wartortle evolution, usually because I'm just so scared of Blastoise, and I don't want to make a Blastoise of my poor little Squirtle. It's so cute. I actually just keep my Squirtles usually Squirtle because the grumpy faces of both of these evolutions here I don't like it. Squirtle looks so happy. Blastoise looks like they're out for blood. Blastoise might seem like a cool Pokemon to own and battle with, but if you come face to face with this Pokemon, I'm not sure that you're gonna feel the same way. Let's also consider the fact that an angry Blastoise is also always armed due to the 2 cannons that naturally protrude from its shell. And then there are Mega and Gigantamax versions of that Pokemon to worry about. Mega Blastoise looks like they will and actually want to destroy you with their one very prominent cannon. They're like, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna mow you down. Number 5, Feraligatr. It's all in the name with this Pokemon. Feraligatr is literally a combination of the word feral, meaning wild and often bloodthirsty, and the word alligator. So basically we're dealing with a ferocious and unhinged alligator. Yeah, I'm not really about that. Alligators are scary enough to encounter in the wild as is. What if you encountered a Feraligatr instead, who can also walk on hind legs and chase you, but is obviously also skilled when it comes to water battles, being themselves a water type Pokemon. Alligators chasing me on hind legs sounds like some nightmare fuel. Number 4, Starmie. Okay, so maybe I'm the only one terrified by Starmie, but I really don't think I should be. Let me just make my case here for why I think Starmie should actually be revered as one of the most horrific water types around. Starmie isn't just a water Pokemon, but it's also psychic, making it even stronger and more useful of a Pokemon in battle than you might at first expect. And also meaning if you had to battle Starmie face to face underwater, you'd have even more to worry about. Starmies are also known for having access to a diverse range of abilities, so you never know when you face one just what attacks you might be coming up against. They're also known for being quite fast for a water type, which means in summary, you are dealing with a fast, psychic, double-stacked starfish who could maybe attack you with a thunderbolt while you're swimming around underwater. Not a battle that I would like to be in. Number 3, Gyarados. As much as we love Gyarados, it's also basically a giant sea serpent. Not a Pokemon you'd want to find out with swimming just meters below you in a crystal clear lake or ocean. The crazy thing about Gyarados too is it's a Pokemon that evolves from the super harmless and often touted as most useless Pokemon, Magikarp. But while Magikarp's Splash feels like one of the most safe, though mildly annoying attacks you could suffer, Gyarados' Earthquake would likely leave you in a horrified dash as you headed for the shore. Get me out of the water! Number 2, Dracovish. What could possibly be more terrifying than a Gyarados? The frightening fossil hybrid Pokemon, Dracovish. This Pokemon was initially believed to be extinct due to how much of an apex predator it is known for being. It was believed that the Dracovish had actually died out due to severe overhunting of its prey. This Pokemon can only breathe underwater, meaning that it's definitely one that you could only fight against and encounter underwater. Not that you'd really want to do that. It's known to move at speeds exceeding 40 miles an hour, which means outswimming it is basically impossible. Actually, it is impossible. Can you swim faster than 40 miles an hour? Because I can't. Chris, you can't swim faster than 40 miles an hour, can you?
Definitely not.
Doesn't sound humanly possible. It's also known for its ferocious bite and strong jaw. Can we just acknowledge how frightening of a shape this also has? It's like got a hollow middle. What is that? What is this? I don't like it. Number 1, Kyogre. Kyogre is a legendary Pokemon that resembles both a whale and a shark somewhat, like kind of combined. Whales are huge, but aren't typically known for being particularly threatening to humans or really anyone in the water, except for maybe what they're eating, like krill. So why should we be worried about this giant legendary Pokemon? Well, because it is just so powerful. Kyogre is known for being one of the most powerful water types in the game and is powerful enough to create oceans. Basically, a trainer could use this Pokemon to flood the world, and Kyogre could easily drown you and the whole city that you live in if it wanted to. Or it could even do so without really knowing or caring about the lives that it was destroying. After all, Pokemon are just wild creatures. The real horrifying thing is you wouldn't even need to be underwater with a Kyogre to live in fear of it, if it existed in the real world. Also imagine playing a video game and spotting a Kyogre in the distance underwater, and then the closer it got, the larger it appeared. Primal Kyogres are estimated to be up to 32 feet long, and they also have a wingspan for you to consider as well in terms of the size of their overall majestic yet terrifying appearance. Number 10, Tangela. It may seem silly, but Tangelas have scared me ever since I was a little kid playing and watching Pokemon. Something about the fact that we can never see its full face. Tangelas are comprised of a bunch of blue vines, which hides its face from view so only its eyes are really visible. The mystery of its appearance and the black void that seems to surround its eyes has always creeped me out. Imagine running into a bunch of Tangela out in the forest or tall grass at night, just a bunch of bright eyes peering out at you. And just what horror could those blue vines be hiding? Why do Tangelas feel the need to hide their face? What's under there? Some fangs? I want to see it. Number 9, Shiftry. How does something so cute as a Seedot become something as ominous and frightening as Shiftry? It's just the mystery and magic of evolution, I guess. Shiftry is the final evolution of Seedot. It is a much feared Pokemon who is known as the guardian of the forest. It's got creepy eyes and a shaggy mane that also masks most of its face. A rare and tough Pokemon to fight, Shiftry can use its abilities to try and read its foes' minds, allowing it to anticipate how they will attack and react appropriately. Sometimes Shiftry can even react before its opponent has time to strike, making it a deadly Pokemon to face in battle. You know what is the opposite of deadly? Giving this video a like. Spread the love and spook and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. It really helps us out. Number 8, Lileep. You don't have too much to be frightened of with Lileep, as it's a Pokemon who became extinct about 100 million years ago, so you're less likely to run into one in the modern day and age of Pokemon today. Lileep can still be revived and retrieved, however, with the use of root fossils. Lileep is a grass and rock type Pokemon that resembles a flower, but a rather deadly underwater flower. Its pink petals might look pretty, but you'll want to watch out for them if you run into a Lileep while swimming. Its petals are used to attract prey, which it then swallows whole. And don't even get me started on its terrifying, glowing yellow eyes. Little creep, more like it. Number 7, Rotom. Rotom isn't exactly a grass type. It has the potential to be various types of Pokemon, but originally it started out as electric and ghost type, while in its true form as just Rotom. However, Rotom is a Pokemon that can possess motors. Its name is actually the word motor backward. Rotom. Motor. When Rotom possesses the motor belonging to a lawnmower, it becomes the most frightening version of itself in my opinion, and also becomes an electric and grass type Pokemon instead. Rotom looks like a murderous, haunted lawnmower. It might not be inherently murderous, but it's definitely known for being a mischievous Pokemon in all of its forms. Think Peeves, the poltergeist vibes from Harry Potter. Still spooky though, meeting a ghost that can literally possess your lawnmower and potentially use it to chop you up if it wanted to. Number 6, Victory Bell. Another one that always bothered me was Victory Bell. Weepin' Bell, I can deal with. Bellsprout, no problem. But that final evolution, not my cup of poisonous tea. Not at all. Victory Bell is both a grass and poison type Pokemon. Its upside down face always bothered me, especially as it features two very sharp teeth with eyes that lurk just beneath it. Victory Bell lures in prey by waving around its vine. If it catches you, you're basically a goner, although it usually only preys on small animals and rodents, so fortunately, this is unlikely to happen. However, it has been known to attack humans when agitated, like in the anime when it attacked Jesse. If Victory Bell manages to gobble you up, you will quickly be dissolved in acid within the plant. After just eating, its acid also smells sweeter, making it more alluring to prey. Ugh. Number 5. Parasect. What is wrong with its eyes? Why do they have no pupils? I'm a sucker for freaky things going on in the face region when it comes to Pokemon, or anything else really, as a matter of fact, and so Parasect's face has always got me. At first glance, it appears to have no mouth, although it definitely does have a mouth, and has ghostly white eyes without any pupils to speak of. It's a bug and grass type Pokemon who itself is possessed by the mushroom that grows on its back. Have I also mentioned that I'm terrified of possession? Removing the mushroom on a Parasect's back will likely kill it, as the mushroom is fully in control of the insect's movements, hence its blank stare and emotionless eyes. So Parasect is probably like an insect that's being driven around by a mushroom, an insect's corpse. Number 4. Mega Sceptile. Sceptile is not a particularly frightening Pokemon, except of course when it Mega evolves. This kind-hearted Pokemon then turns into basically, well, a kind-hearted dragon, becoming both part grass and part dragon type in this form. Dragons in general, however, are just terrifying, so even if this Pokemon is generally one that is friendly, you still might want to watch out and make sure you stay on its good side. Its tail and body become larger, and its markings change to include more red. As always, you'll still want to watch out for its sharp leaves and claws. Number 3. Gourgeist. Gourgeist might look like a cute little floating jack-o'-lantern with pretty pink hair that has a mischievous but cute face poking up from beneath its long pink locks, but it's really a stealer of souls. Gourgeist are known for coming out during the night of a new moon in order to lure victims out with their cheerful song. Those who hear the song become cursed. The Gourgeist will catch their victims and then take them into the afterlife. A much more sinister version of their pre-evolution Pokemon, Pumpkaboo. Pumpkaboo is the cutest name ever, gotta say. Number 2. Phantump. Phantump is a ghost and grass type Pokemon. Despite its adorable appearance, the lore behind this Pokemon is what makes it truly horrifying. It's believed that Phantumps are created when a tree stump becomes haunted by a spirit. It's believed that a Phantump actually becomes possessed and is given life by the spirit of a child who became lost and died in the forest. So if you ever run into a whole group of Phantumps, you're basically running into a bunch of ghostly dead children. Not only that, but the cry of a Phantump mirrors the voice and screams of a child and has been known to lure others from the forest path, causing those who wander through the woods at night trying to find it to become lost and possibly perish themselves, becoming a Phantump 2 later on. Number 1. Trevenant. Trevenant basically looks like an evil haunted tree, which is exactly what it is based on type. It's both a ghost and grass Pokemon and evolves from Phantump when you trade it, as if Phantump wasn't scary enough based on the lore attached to it. Trevenant can also reach out using its roots and utilize them to take control of other trees around it. This Pokemon is even more scary to run into if you happen to be someone who cuts down or causes harm to trees, which it is very much against, basically acting like a vengeful forest spirit. So yeah, don't hurt trees. Although also don't do that in general, like why are you hurting